Things are heating up as we hit the second event of Quack's Marble Clash Season 2. Hello everyone, I am the titular Quack, and I am excited to present the first team event of the season, Balancing. It needs no introduction. It's been run more times than perhaps any other event in Quack's Marble Clash, and we're seeing it today, where things have not changed. It will be just as it was last season, which means that these teams have a lot of experience and a lot to prove. Winning this event is proving of consistency, proving teamwork. And you can see the run order here. It's reverse championship standings, but right now we've only had one event. That means it's just the reverse of the results from last event, which means the Snapping Turtles will be going first. They struggled at last event, hoping to improve here, but for now the Malamex will be demonstrating. They lose to one to the near side, now two, and two of them will get close to the end, but they just can't quite do it, meaning they will get a decent run here. That's all of their marbles coming off to the near side. We'll see how the dynamics of the beam will change as the runs go on, and how these teams will adapt to knowing which sides are better to stick to and which lines are better. Of course, you want to stay centered in general, but we begin with the Snapping Turtles. Struggled last event. They lose three in a big pack all at once, but Yertle will make it to the end. They'll get one finisher. The Snapping Turtles didn't look too great, though, with three going off very quickly, all in one big bunch. And we saw how the Malamex all fell to the near side, but Snapping Turtles almost all fell to the far, so clearly this is not quite as imbalanced as previously thought, but that will technically take the provisional lead. A 186 is decent, but I'd imagine it's going to be below average. But now we head in with the Rose Rollers now, another team that struggled in the first event. Oh, and they come out with a split formation, and one marble will get to the end. I didn't think that was going to work out for them quite as well as it did. They got most of their marbles a pretty decent amount of distance. It looked like from that start, you can see right there, they had a lot of horizontal momentum, and two of them came to the near side very quickly. Their captain went off to the far side, but that will be better than the Snapping Turtles mark by a pretty comfortable margin. And now the Stone Golems fans getting excited to see their team compete after struggling last event, hoping to do better here. Medaled in this event last season in the main league. We'll see what they can do now. And they lose two pretty quickly to the far side, two to the near. I don't think it's going to be a very strong run for the Stone Golems. Disappointing once again. They looked at least pretty decent. None of them fell off too early, but no one making it past the 60 mark, and a 149 is a pretty poor score for the Stone Golems. Dead last so far. And the fans are still after that one. Unfortunate for the home fans to watch that. But now the Checkmates, let's see what they can do. Another team that did pretty solidly this time in the qualifiers. We'll see how they do here. They lose one pretty quickly, but they get one all the way to the end. They get two, they're very close. That could be a very strong score. They had a lot more consistency with their runs, their marbles, compared to the previous few runs. And a 251 will take a comfortable lead. That one marble hitting the fan stands near the far side with the Stone Golems fans, and the Malamex setting up a barrier there to protect the fans, to maintain the safety over there. But now we move in for the Soaring Skies run. Let's see what they can do. Another team that's had plenty of experience, as all of them have had, but they split down the middle, two to each side, and I don't know how that's going to shake out. They didn't get a single finisher, but they also didn't have any. They get too poor a run, and a 203 will be third out of the five, usually 200 around the middle, so it's a bit unsurprising to see them dead center. But now the Pollen Puffs, the team that won this event in the qualifiers, we'll see what they can do here. And they're off. They lose two very quickly. They lose three very quickly. One of them will get to the 60 mark, but that's about it. That's all they have to show for it. Not a good sign for the Pollen Puffs. Usually thought of as being stronger in team events, but that is not coming through here. A 128 is a disastrous run. That will take dead last of the runs so far. And now let's see what the Flying Saucers can do. Another team that's been promoted from the B-League last season, and they lose three in a big pack, and one of them coming short of the 40 mark. That was even worse for the Flying Saucers. Disappointing for both of these teams back-to-back. You can see how they all had a lot of horizontal momentum and an even 100. That was one of the worst runs we've seen yet. Disastrous for the Flying Saucers. But now the Flashbangs, one of the strongest teams in this event, currently the record holders. Let's see what they can do. They lose two to the far side, one to the near. They get one all the way to the end. The Flashbangs, unsurprisingly, got at least one finisher, though. That was honestly a bit disappointing compared to their usual standard. I don't think that'll come anywhere near 300. No, that's a 202. And that will be fourth of the eight so far. They will not be medaling in this event, despite being such a strong team usually. But the Checkmates hold the lead at the halfway mark. The Rose Rollers and Soaring Skies just barely hanging on to the medal positions, but surprisingly weak so far. A 203 usually isn't the strongest performance, but that's still enough to be on the provisional podium. And now Team Pixie, another team that's been very strong in this event before. Let's see what they can do. They lose two. Two of them are very close, but they will get to the end. Just barely. Those two are hanging on for dear life. They're getting so close, but they never touched, and those are the kind of skills that it takes. Look at how close they got. And a 239 will be just shy of the Checkmates mark. They will take second place provisionally. We'll see how the next few runs can compare. The Loaves of Bread now. Usually a team that's thought of as being stronger in individual events, but we'll see here. Oh, they almost go off in a big pack, but they have three still on. Two of them or at least one of them, I think, will make it to the end. It's very hard to say, but that was a very strong run for the Loaves of Bread. Their captain going off pretty early on, but look at those two just barely hanging on, and one marble coming just shy of it around the 90 mark, and a 289. That will take the lead provisionally. That was better than any run we saw in the main league last season, so we'll see if that's enough to hold on to a medal this time. Now the King Crabs, another team that's medaled in this event before. Oh no, what happened there? Two marbles going off nearly instantly, had a lot of horizontal momentum. Look at that, just split down the middle. Their captain didn't fare much better in Coconut, surprisingly getting most of the points, and a 119 will only be 10th of the 11 so far. Disastrous for the reigning champions. And let's see what the Slush Rush can do. Another team that's been strong in this event before, and oh, they lose two very quickly. Two come off just around the 50 mark. That was not a great run for the Slush Rush. And we'll see what their point total adds up to, but a 121 is only 10th place so far. Another disappointing run. We've seen a lot of very high highs and low lows so far in this event. Let's see what the Stingrays do. Oh, they lose 2-3 now very quickly to the far side. One of them get around the 80 mark, but I don't think it's going to be enough for a good score there, especially with their captain going off pretty much immediately. And you can see how they leaned a bit too far to the far side. A 153 is 8th place of the 13 so far. Not too bad, but still only barely cracking 150 is not great. But now the Red Rockets, gold medalists in this event last season. Let's see what they can do here. They lost one pretty quickly too, but they're side by side. They will get to the end. What an impressive run there. They lost two very early on, but what a recovery, reminiscent of Team Pixie earlier on, where they got almost side by side. Look at that. Amazing that they managed to stay on, not make contact, and they will get a 223 just shy of the podium. Unfortunately, they won't be getting a medal here, but they will be at least getting a decent finish, I have to imagine, and the fans are pleased with that one, especially with such a recovery. But now the City Lights, silver medalist in the last event, see what they can do here. And they're off. They're looking pretty good for now. They lose all of them to the near side, actually. It was pretty consistent. They didn't get anyone to the end, but they did get everyone at least past 30, almost to 40. And a 187 will be 8th place, right around the middle of the results so far. But now we only have one more run to go. Will they challenge the Loaves of Bread, the Ivy League gold medalists, for the first time in their careers last event? See what they can do. They lose 3 to the far side, 1 to the near. I don't think that's going to be a challenger. They did pretty decently up until that point. It looked like they had it, but then you can see pretty early on they lost those 3. Then one gets around the 70 mark, or 60 mark, but only a 133 will be 12th of the 16. But that means the Loaves of Bread have taken the gold medal here. They will be the winners of balancing this time around, and the Checkmates and Team Pixie will be rounding out the podium. Team Pixie showing their experience here, getting their first main league medal, and the Checkmates getting only their 3rd main league medal. So all of these teams very impressive compared to their usual marks. And now let's see the results in full. The 289, a pretty comfortable victory for the Loaves of Bread, I have to say. Better than the Red Rockets last season, and the 251 and 239, decent scores for silver and bronze, but not the best runs below that, especially the Flying Saucers at the bottom, and they will be in dead last after this event. But the Loaves of Bread jump up into the point lead. Ivy League hold on to 2nd, and the City Lights go into 3rd, but still a lot of time for things to change as we move on to the next event, which will be hurdles, so stay tuned, and thank you for watching.